I'd like to welcome you guys to a new experience, the Gifted Podcast, with your host, Christian. And I happen to have a great co host, my brother, Leonardo.
And my name is Leo, like my co-host said. Happy to be part of this new project that me and my brother have been wanting to do for a while. Just something new, something that interests him a little bit more, but I'm also keen to listen to podcasts and just enjoying the experience. And, well, we both like to talk, and we honestly have just discussions like this like we're going to have today and throughout the weeks. Just random discussions about, what's going on in the world with us, with, social whatevers, just random topics and discussions. And we just said, why not try something like this? Everybody in the grandma does it. I mean, it's nothing new, but it's something we wanted to try and just share our thoughts with our friends and to all the new people we're hoping to be acquainted with and meet throughout this experience.
I agree fully with what he said. That was beautiful. Yeah, man. How you feeling, man? You excited? Are you excited at all?
I'm excited. I've done one of these with you before on another set of podcasts. But this is gonna be something. It is something new. Like I said, we've watched different things. I'm not gonna mention the other podcasts we listen to just because I'm like trying to plug them up. I'm trying to get the attention on us, but they seem so genuinely fun and creative that we wanted to do something for like this for ourselves. It's always important to start somewhere, and here's our starting point.
Yep, I fully agree with that. I did a podcast before. I loved it. Had so much fun. I wish we could have continued with it, but I'm ready to start this new experience. It's gonna be a blast. Well, with that being said, I'd like to bring us into why it's called the Gifted Podcast. I'm gonna let my brother elaborate a little bit on why it's called the Gifted Podcast.
Oh, thank you, co-host. Why we decided to name it the Gifted Podcast? It was more of a name my brother came up with. I probably had something close to like Los Hermanos Regalados or something like that, which I thought that just kind of rolls off the tongue. But the Gifted Podcast is because our last name translated literally means gifted. And I'm like, I don't think I've heard anybody use or actually could use that name as well as we can. We can claim that name better than anybody, I think. Yeah. So that's what we went with. Hope you guys enjoy this new experience that we're gonna take you on.
That's what's up. I like hearing that. Yeah, 100%. I came up with the name. Yeah, the Gifted Podcast just sounds so genuine, and I'm just ready to go into our first real topic to let you guys know a little bit about us, because we are very human, obviously, and I'm gonna let my co-host pick our first topic.
All right, so the first topic I have for myself and my co-host, what kind of music / artists have been hitting for you lately? Not doesn't have to be like old time. Like, man, this is like my thing. No, just like, what did you drive like on the way here or today? What have you been listening to? What has been hitting for you lately? Like this last week, I know you mentioned a lot of like JID and stuff like that. So I'll let you go ahead and start with that.
All right. Yeah. No, I very much like that question. Music is very wide. Everyone listens to music. It's often a question I ask a lot of people, like, what type of music do you listen to get a little bit of flavor and a little bit of taste of who you are and what might you like. So, yeah, I've very much been listening to JID lately. A lot of people call him JID, whatever you want to call him. The Forever Story. I love that album. Probably the best album I heard all last year. Very beautiful album. Whenever I drive, I often just put on hip-hop. Last summer, though, I'm not going to lie, I was bumping some Bad Bunny. A lot of people were bumping Bad Bunny.
Who wasn't bumping Bad Bunny last
year?
Yeah.
Like,
who isn't still bumping Bad Bunny?
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, he's very talented artist. But yeah, I've been listening to hip hop, a lot of Tyler, the Creator, a lot of Future, a lot of JID. Like I said, I could pull up my phone. I've been listening to a whole bunch of like old '90s too. I've been listening to A Tribe Called Quest. I recently got into them. And I just very much enjoy hip hop. Sometimes I'll listen to country, even spice it up a little bit. Yeah. Well, you don't like country?
No. 'Cause I genuinely love country music. I mean, when you look at it as a whole, like country music, and then like you have like regional mexicana and stuff like that, or norteños. I mean, it's basically the same thing, just of course, different languages. But it's honestly like very, very good music. Yeah, I mean, today I think I was bumping like Bad Bunny and Raúl Alejandro and just some reggaeton stuff I have, just I was just in the vibe for that the other day. At work, I think I was basically just bumping it out to like 80s rock music. I was listening to like Kiss, AC/DC, and then I went into some other stuff. Like 2000s. I think I put on a place like 2000s, like rock hits and stuff like that, like Jimmy Eat World and in music like that. Just because I mean that's those slaps. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean,
yeah, no, I fully agree with everything you're saying there. I had my period where I was listening to freaking Queen, David Bowie. All them classics. All them classics, bro. I was listening to all of them. I don't know. I feel like I've had my phase with all music. I remember I even had like my punk rock phase and stuff.
I don't even know if I'd call them phases. I mean, I genuinely like to listen to all of that music. Like I said, just in the last, not like today or in last week, whatever. Yeah, I think I've been on like hip hop. Yeah, of course. I know we had these discussions. We watched some video reactions of like people ranking like Travis Scott and his songs, Drake and his songs and stuff like that. My co-host doesn't like him as much, but you know what? It is what it is. Let us know what you think about that. But yeah, Travis Scott, he has a lot of dope hits.
Yeah, I love Travis Scott.
I'm not gonna lie. I think probably No Bystanders is probably like my favorite song because it actually just, I don't know, it gets the mood going. I think it's pretty like all uplifting. Not really, but like or like positive.
Party song.
Yo, it's a party song. It is a party song. It gets your blood flowing, especially if you want to go to the gym or just like turn up the night. Yeah, that's a dope hit.
Hey, yeah, no, straight up. If y'all need like a motivational type of playlist, straight up motivational playlist, gym playlist, even sad playlist, any type of playlist, Yeah, we got several type of artists that I'd love to introduce you guys to.
Or even then, if you guys have any recommendations for us, if like you think we didn't mention anything or any people or genre that you guys really like mess with, let us know. Leave some suggestions in the comments, and we'll get back to you on the next podcast about what we listened to and I guess how we reacted or felt about it.
Yeah. Like you said, please feel free to comment about anything you feel about us. We love any type of feedback, and it's a positive way for us to track if people actually care about our podcast and whatnot. Yeah, whatever. Let's just move on to our next freaking topic before I get more sensitive.
We're talking about sensitivity. Talking about sensitivity, this is one of the questions I was asked my co-host before the podcast, but I'm going to ask them during it, which is a topic I've heard before used on other videos, but it's something that I just wanted to ask. Do you think the world has gotten more sensitive? And genuinely, it's like, I don't know, last 20, 30 years. I know you haven't been alive that long, but when you see how things were back then, I know you watched media of things 20, 30 years ago to now. Like, do you think it has?
I think the world has become very sensitive, but I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think it's more like people have opened their eyes to like be able to voice whatever their frustrations are, whatever they like, whatever they don't like. And that's how it should be. People have opinions, and that's how it's always been. That's how it always will be. I think my brother thinks that the world's become too sensitive and whatnot. I don't know. He was kind of a little boomer, you know what I'm saying? A little boomerish. Would you say or not?
I've never followed any of those like Gen Z, boomers, generation, whatever the hell they go with. Does that make me feel old? That kind of makes me feel old because I don't know. Like I don't know. I just don't follow that stuff. No, I was just letting them know. Like, or we were talking about it, And I do feel, because there are I'm like, there is a group of people that like they think one way as far as like sensitivity topic, and they go one way, and you have another group of people that probably think, wow, you guys are really sensitive. They call you snowflakes or whatever, and they go one way, and then they're the ones that are usually like bumping heads about what's sensitive and what isn't. I do agree that it is better to be more self-aware how the world is now, just because I feel like it's so much more connected, and I guess thus being connected, people find things insensitive. Yeah. When I feel like sometimes it's not even about being insensitive, or maybe they just want to be like feel included in things. But we're not gonna get too deep into like that kind of stuff. But in general, I think it has become too sensitive. As I feel like things that were allowed back then aren't allowed now, and it could go either way. But that was just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I fully agree with what you said. I just feel like sometimes people go too far into the wrong, and yeah, that's when I feel like sensitivity is needed.
Oh, I think people genuinely know when they've gone too far, pero como dicen en español, es para darle en la contra al otro. It's just like, I don't like your opinion, so I'm just gonna piss you off. Yeah. And I think they do it on purpose.
Yeah, a little too often, I feel like. But yeah, let's bring it back to a little bit more of a simpler question.
Let me give you one just off the top of my head, just because we're both sitting here and we're both drinking Red Bulls. And I guess this is the easy one for you. What's your favorite type of energy drink? Bro. And do you have a flavor that you like from it? You know that everything has flavor.
Bro, I very much love Red Bull. A little too much. It's my favorite drink.
Do you have a favorite flavor?
What?
Do you have a favorite flavor when it comes to Red Bull?
Oh, yeah, the winter edition, Fig Apple. When that came out.
What again?
Fig Apple.
Ah.
I don't know. I thought it tasted good. It tasted just like chamoy. For my Mexicans out there, you know how that tastes like.
I didn't know that. I seen you drink it. I didn't know that.
No, yeah, it's fire. But one of the main reasons I even drink Red Bull is because I'm a huge fan of sports, and that's what I wanted to lean into. I don't know if a lot of people are fans of Formula One necessarily, but I very much enjoy Formula One, and my favorite team has been Red Bull for a while.
Who introduced you to Formula One?
My brother, I think, introduced me to Formula One.
Right.
Yeah, I heard about it before.
Give me that credit.
Yeah, I heard about it before. I mean, one of the main reasons I support that team is because we got a fellow Mexican racing on the grid. That's crazy.
The only Mexican on the grid.
Best Mexican driver ever. Sergio Perez. If you don't know about him, I'll do a little bit of research on him. I mean, if you're Mexican, you probably heard about him, to be honest. But let's move on.
You probably see him on Tudanes sometimes.
Yeah, but let's move on from Formula One. Let's talk about more popular sports, NBA. I think a lot of people enjoy basketball, and
we'll dive in. We'll fiddle with sports, but I know this, but let's let the people know. Who's your favorite NBA team, and do you have a certain player that you enjoy watching more than most?
Yeah, I've been watching NBA for a really long time. I mean, I'm only 20 though, so I'm not super old, but I've been watching NBA for a long time, and I used to have this game growing up called NBA Live 2005. My brother knows about that game. He's the one that had it. And my favorite player was Carmelo Anthony. At that time, he was playing for Denver Nuggets.
Boy was on the cover.
Yeah, he was on the cover. And he was my favorite player, and I found out he played for the Knicks, and since that moment on, I was just a Knicks fan. And historically, they've been garbage lately, but I love him. I love them. I love when they get a win.
When was their last chip?
The last time they won was in the 70s.
See, I didn't know that. I thought it was actually like the 90s. I honestly thought for the longest time that they won with Patrick Ewing. No. I honestly thought that they won the 90s, at least. But see, I didn't know that the last chip that they had was in the 70s. So that's crazy.
They happened to make the NBA Finals in the 90s. They just didn't win. They had to go versus the Rockets and the Spurs. It's not fair.
I was gonna say, who's a bigger Knicks fan than you?
I don't know anybody that's a bigger Knicks fan than me. I don't know any other Knicks fans actually.
Well, Spike Lee.
Shut up, dude. That guy's famous. That guy's famous.
My boy's courtside every game, win, lose, or draw.
Hey, yo, this guy's favorite team is the Lakers. Don't listen to him.
Yeah. Hey, we weren't like historically, but of course I can't say that. Well, we went on what was it like? Since the last chip that they had with Kobe, was that in 10?
Yeah, 2010.
Until LeBron came and saved the trash that was dumpster fire that was the Los Angeles Lakers. But they went on like a 8 I would say about 8-year streak of being just terrible. And no one would want to go play there. I mean, we did win a chip. It was people call it the Mickey Mouse Championship or the bubble, whatever. But I honestly do feel like that was one of the hardest chips to win because there was no home field advantage on any sorts. Everybody was playing on an even playing field, and they cooked the competition. Even though the Jimmy Butler and the Heat, they were doing really well, but just couldn't match what LeBron and AD had to offer at that point. Call bandwagoning, I don't care. LeBron's the GOAT, in my opinion. But I know there's a lot that will cook me and say, you never seen MJ play, blah, 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 blah. LeBron's the GOAT. Deal with it.
Yep, that's what I was saying about people having their own opinions, whether you like it or not.
Hey, watch some basketball, bro. You haven't watched 90s basketball. You haven't seen MJ fly. It's like, okay, bro, I get it. But, that's your opinion, not mine.
All right. Sorry to cut you off there, but sports, dude.
Sports gets heated. Anytime you bring up sport, like I don't say we've gone to a good amount of.
Hey, but we've been into college sports lately.
What I was getting to. We going into another more sports, college sports. I don't follow too much like basketball wise, but we're huge college football fans. And football's another topic. I got into it very late. Back in high school, being Mexican, I don't know. I just always gravitate towards soccer, but football is honestly just awesome. It is just a kick-ass sport.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. The World Cup recently was very, very good.
It was rigged.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, that's my again. We'll agree or disagree, and I know I'll get flamed by people who go for Argentina. I just personally feel it goes handed to Messi, but congrats to him. Congrats to Argentina. No hard feelings here. We had a terrible run at it, but
we're Mexicans, so
we had a terrible run at it. There's no hard feelings there.
That was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. We'll hopefully try and make a better run in 2030 because I don't think things will change by 2026. But hey, it'll be hosted here. Hopefully we can go to a game or two because it will be in the United States, and the closest venue to us is
hold on. Let's not talk about our location. There be DDoSes out there.
Oh, who's saying? I said that's the closest location.
Yeah, true. Kansas City's fire.
That's the closest location. I'm not disclosing our location.
That's what's up.
Unless somebody in the comments does it, and you will be hunted down if you do.
That's funny.
All right, going back to college sports. And we're basically giving away our location. Gotta say our favorite team, at least my college football favorite team, is the Arkansas Razorbacks.
I hated this season, by the way. Arkansas Razorbacks. What happened this season? Oh my goodness, was it bad?
We were 3-0 at one point, but I will say that 3-0 came tough. We went to go see the season opener versus Cincy.
It was a fun game.
It was a fun game.
Super fun game.
We won. Who did they play next after that?
I don't even know. I just remember the next game. What was the next game we went to?
The next game we went to go see was Alabama,
and that was when they were 3-1 or 4-1. Whatever.
No, because the first loss was against Texas A&M off a missed field.
That was a bad game.
Off a missed field goal, and we need to get out of Arlington. We need to get out of there. We go play over there versus Texas A&M. That is a home game for them, an away game for us. I know they go over there because of the connections, but we really need to get out of there and start playing home games on our field and the SEC home field advantage is major. But we lost over there. Tough loss, like I said, off a field goal. But the next game we went to go see versus Bama, which was bad.
We left at the third quarter. That's how bad it was.
No, we did leave in the fourth. I remember we talked about the third, but then that's when they made that surging comeback, scored like 3 touchdowns. We thought we were like within arm's reach. At one point we were. I don't remember exactly. I think we were like within a touchdown range of tying or being like above on score, and then Alabama does what Alabama does, and they ran through us. They stumped a mud hole in our ass and walked it dry. That's what they did.
No, here's what happened. Also, Alabama's QB went down. Bryce Young, probably like a top 3 QB in the all of college football, goes down. Their backup goes in and just runs a touchdown on us, like 80 yards.
And it didn't help that in the fourth quarter, KJ went down with like a concussion, I think it was, and yeah, we after that they went to Mississippi State without him, and we got demolished as well. Arkansas need to do better. Last season we did 8-4. This season we did was it 8-7? This season did it?
No, 7-6.
7-6. My bad. 7-6 because we won a bowl game, barely
Won a bowl game. And then we lost to Mizzou this season too. Also
to KU, we went like how many overtimes was it? Like 3?
Yeah.
Embarrassing. And then we also went to watch them play the last game of the regular season up in Mizzou, and disappointing.
Yeah, very disappointing. Yeah, but I'd like to move away from this topic of sports. I'd like to get into like any crazy stories you've gotten into while like either where you've been drinking with some friends or whatnot, or even I just want to hear some stuff because I know you've told me some stuff before, and I just feel like it's very entertaining. I want to hear some. I just want to hear one again. Come on. Let me hear one.
I gotta think. I mean, I have a lot. Not to say I'm an alcoholic or anything, because I'm not. It's just, life experiences and whatnot.
Yeah.
Christ. Well, I'm never gonna mention any names.
Yeah, don't mention names, but like just be like, like tell us about one like when like you said something about like your friend getting beat up or something.
Oh nah. Watch him hear this.
Nah, he won't hear it. Just go into it, man.
No, this is him goading me into it. I mentioned it one time to this guy. I think it's because I forgot what topic we were talking about, but it was basically saying something about like if your friend got in a fight, would you get involved? And I think I have flashbacks to that night because it wasn't a fun night to be a part of. But I remember at one point, it was a separate night, but I had friends that told me, if you start a fight, you better finish it. And I've always kind of like, when you think about it, it's like, yeah, you have your boys, you have friends, but I don't blame my friends if they wouldn't have my back if I started a fight and then they got hurt because of it. You know what I mean? Or I had an issue with it. It was not a good situation, but I don't know. My friend was just out of it. Saw an ex walking with some other guys. He swore up and down. He didn't. He didn't feel anything for her. And I mean, I don't know. Like exes. I would say common. Yeah, I'm like, I'm over my ex, bro. I've done so much better. Blah 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 blah. And then you see them again, and it's like, hey, so like, why haven't you returned my texts? I mean, let's just say he swung at everybody that night, including like telling me if I didn't let him go, he was gonna swing at me. I said, you know what? You got yourself into this mess. You finish it then. Let's just say it didn't end well for him. But that's far as much as I'll go into that. I know there's some other crazy stories. Once I get a little bit more comfortable with that, I'll probably let loose a little bit more with some things. But yeah, no, it's just, youth. Your youth, you go through a good bit with experiences and things. I like to hear some of you guys' wildest stories if you guys are comfortable with sharing.
Oh yeah, and no, trust me, man. This guy's told me so many stories. I've also spread some great stories, but like, if you guys want to hear more of that, like, because I promise you, Leo's gone through some stuff, and sometimes I just like stay there with my mouth open of what he tells me. I love that stuff what he tells me, to be honest. And I got some stories. I don't got a lot of stories, but I mean, if you guys want to hear any of it, like any stories, I mean, you can just tell us recommendations of what you'd like to hear in the comments, because we love your feedback. Like I said, your feedback matters heavily to us. Like, let us reassure you that your word very much matters here.
We're not promoting drinking by any means, and also drink responsibly, 100%. Don't drink and drive, all that good stuff.
And if you do drugs, remember to measure your drugs. Don't overdo it. If you do drugs, all right? I'm not saying do drugs, but remember, measure your drugs. You know?
What is this guy on?
Hey, man. We keep it real around here. I ain't about that fake stuff. But with all this being said, I'd like to just wrap up our first pilot episode. I think it's been a fun time. And yes, it's a short episode, but it's a short pilot. We just wanted to fill you in about stuff we like and whatnot. Maybe the next time we might talk about stuff we don't like. You know, we might switch it up.
It's stuff we like, stuff we don't like. I was wanting to ask one more question, but you know what? We'll save some of those other ones you said. You're right, for the next podcast.
Oh yeah, wait, hold on. Let me all right. I'm gonna tell you guys. We're planning on posting every Friday, like around 6 or 7 p.m. And I promise you, it'll be a great experience. And we're gonna have some good stories. We're gonna talk about how our week went. Anything you guys recommend to us, we'll talk about it. We'll even have special guests on here and there. And if we ever get bigger, who knows? We might have some bigger people around here. You know, I hope that we can make a very good stuff, very much like maybe even a career out of this. Now, I love this podcasting stuff. I've been listening to podcasts for a long time.
And eat your heart out, dog. I'm coming for Impulsive.
Damn, you hear that? Yeah, no, I've done a podcast before. Maybe if you guys have heard it, maybe not. It's very good, very fun time. And thank you guys for listening so much. Thank you.